Brett McMillan from PRN. You're not a dad yet that we know of.
Or me. Maybe I should look at my phone.
Yeah. But knowing as close as you are to becoming a father for the first time, what kind of special meaning does Father's Day have for you this weekend?
I can't say it really means much yet. I guess once I meet my daughter and experience all that, next year will be a whole different situation. But right now, I mean, I know it's out there, but there's really nothing in my heart pulling me to it. Unless she certainly comes beforehand, then it'll be a whole different experience. But we're excited. Yesterday we had an appointment with the doctor, and everything's great. We're not expecting anything the next couple of weeks to happen. But baby's healthy. Shani's doing great. She's at home. No more traveling for her at this point. And we just kind of wait and see.
Mark Milton from Sun FM here in town. You're the 4-time champ. You had mentioned slump. You're in 6th place. To me, that's not a slump. When you think of the prospect of not hitting 5, does it bother you? How do you stay positive? How do you fight off any anxiety you might have about falling from the top?
Well, luckily, or I shouldn't say luckily, I should say that the way the season works, your first goal is to make the chase to even have a shot at the championship. So the intensity for the championship hasn't kicked in yet. The thought of not winning a 5th hasn't entered my mind yet. It's just not that time of the year. Slipping down 7th in points and 100 points from the cutoff, that's a place I don't want to be. And I need to collect points and be smart and not try to avoid being in a situation where I go to Richmond and I've got to race to have a shot at the championship, because Richmond in the spring finished 10th, but it was a fight all night long. So that's my first goal. And once we get there, I think the pressure will kick in. And, I mean, at some point, I know that it's going to end. I certainly hope it's not this year. I'd love for 5. But I've said this all along, if the 48 team goes to the track and we do everything we can and we get beat, we can sleep at night. It's not going to be fun. It's going to suck, and the streak will be over. But I can sleep because I know we put in 100%. We just got beat. If we make a mistake, if something else happens, we drop the ball, that's going to sting a lot more. But at some point, it's going to come to an end, and I think that a champion should also be measured, not only what he does on the track when they're winning and doing well, but how they handle defeat, how they handle other sides of it. And with that prospect out there, I hope to handle it with class and style and move on and come back the following year and try to produce again.
Okay, we need to move quickly through these. We got Lewis, Claire B., Marty, and Rodman.
Louis Frank, ESPN, the magazine. Years ago, here in Watkins Glen, were kind of mulligans, but now with the chase changes and the 10 bonus points, is this something you think everyone in the garage figures in, that all of a sudden these 2 road races, that could affect your championship?
Yeah, it could affect the championship, and I think the effort has been made to for these teams to be better at road course racing. We have a younger generation of drivers that have some type of road course racing background or interest in their mind. Maybe they didn't grow up in the cars, but I think it's a different generation. The older generation just get out of here, move on, didn't care. I think this younger generation enjoys road course racing, so it means more to us.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. Can you tell us why, and I know for gosh sakes, we've asked a lot of questions about the spoiler throughout the weeks. One guy, like a crew chief from Mark Martin, will say it is important, that it has made a difference. You guys have said it has not. Is it the driver that is telling us that? Is there an effect that we're not hearing, or people maybe not telling us everything about it? I mean, you guys have said the spoiler hasn't affected you, and yet people keep pinning it on you,
I think that it's very difficult for the driver to sense a difference between the spoiler and the wing in single car runs, and that's what we base a lot of our opinions on. I know that when the wing was introduced, they went to the wing to make the cars more stable in traffic, because at that time they were really, really tough to drive in traffic at the Michigan test that they had. So looking around at how a wing works versus a spoiler in traffic, there's got to be a difference. But I think it's you stall out more. You're maybe more affected side by side, but it doesn't affect the balance of the car as much. So there are some effects, but what we feel that we need to go faster in the cars isn't as impacted as you may think. There's no doubt there is a change, there is a difference, but what I feel in the car, what we all feel in the car, it's not earth-shattering. It's pretty small, if at all, especially in a single car run by yourself. You just can't tell a difference.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Jimmie, what attributes make a complete driver? I have stumped you.
Yes, you have. In which way? I don't want to be too broad.
Well, I guess more about the maturation as you go out here, because some guys that are idiots at first end up being pretty good ambassadors.
I know. I was trying not to say anything about that. Yeah. Can you define it for me, please? No. Yeah. I think that there's a fine balance, obviously, that it takes to go fast as a driver. And you need to find those boundaries. You need to step over the line and make mistakes to recognize, okay, I've now crossed that line. On the other side, in being too conservative is probably a good thing to know as well. So you just wander that line, and there's some guys that prefer to live on the aggressive side of it and other guys on the conservative side. But there is a defined line there, and time and experience really molds you into the guy that you are. And we've always said that it's easier to pull a guy back than to push someone along, and I think that's true. And so some of the crazy guys that come in at first, once it makes sense to them and they can dial it back a step or two, they seem to take off and do great.
We got to finish up here with Dave Rodman.
Yeah, Jimmie, Dave Rodman, NASCAR.com. Apologize for coming in the middle. I didn't miss any fatherhood news, did I?
No, no.
All right, with your impending fatherhood, how are you looking at this Father's Day, and how do you anticipate looking at 2011 as a father?
I think 2011 will be, Father's Day then will be much more important to me. Right now, and I'm not, it really hasn't been activated in my mind yet that I'm a father. I know we're close, but it's just, right now it's just a day that's out there, and I'll be sure to wish my dad a happy Father's Day and experience it on that side. But for myself, I think it'll be 2011 before it really hits me.
Jimmie, thank you for your time, and good luck this weekend.